So, it's time for the ace match. This is going to be the third game on this best out of 3 series, taken from the SK Gaming Champions Trophy, the Asian edition. We're going to have once more, and for the final time, for the last time, a clash between these two Korean pro gamers. Spawning here on this top right corner of Shakura's plateau, you're going to have PoltPrimeWE, member of Team Prime for a long time, and also very used to play on the GSL, so quite adapted to the pressure, and I think he's just ready to take the win here. Let's see who will do it, but he was playing solid on the previous 2 matches as well. I think he just wants to show the world that he is this good, but he has a huge opponent here to face once more for the 3rd time. This Zerg player here, the blue Zerg spawning on the top left corner of Shakura's plateau, IMLosira, member of Team Incredible Miracle, one of the best Zerg players currently playing Starcraft 2 in my modest opinion, and with very good results in Korea, especially on the GSL. I honestly would like to see him playing out of the GSL, by the way. I think that would be very interesting to see him playing and see how would he fare against some of the top North American and European players. Would be pretty cool, but I guess we'll have chance for that in the future. For now they're just clashing here for the 3rd time, and hopefully this is going to be a nice face-off. I enjoyed the previous 2 matches. If you guys recall, on that first game, PoltPrime attempted to apply a lot of pressure early on and basically had a huge defense by Losira. Losira played brilliantly to the point where PoltPrime just didn't have anything else to throw at him and he got crushed. I guess that PoltPrime just sacrificed too much of his economy to commit himself to a lot of streaming of Marines into his opponent's base, and well, basically didn't pay off. But on the 2nd game he went for a fairly similar strategy, went for the 2-racks opening as well, and then streamed a lot of Marines, invested a lot on bioplay, but it actually paid off, and he got to a point where the pressure was so much over Losira that he couldn't resist it, and he just had to GG, tap out, and get out of that environment, get out of that map. So, based on those results and the 1-1 tie, we're now here on Shakura's for the final clash, and as you can see, we have Losira going hatch first, then grabbing the gas and spawning pool just starting. So he's gonna be a bit defenseless for a little while here. Obviously PoltPrime will have to make his decisions. His SCV just showed up here, so he saw that he went for the expo. He's probably now checking how advanced is the spawning pool and the gas. Gonna take a look around, see if he can find anything, and from there he can just decide. But apparently this is not going to be a 2-racks opening. He has the racks now going for a factory, so not going to be the exact same opening he did before, and I guess that we might be seeing a bit of mech play. That would be interesting. I still haven't seen much of a mech play by PoltPrime on this series, and I would like to see that, to be honest. For now this SCV is still wandering on his base, still not much to watch. I mean, he already checked everything that's to be checked this early on the matchup, and meanwhile we have a reactor getting attached to this barracks, and also, ooh, cool, he's gonna try to expand as fast as possible. Command center getting down on that corner, and I'm just wondering, reactor attached here? Oh, he's already lifting the factory, so I'm assuming he's gonna attach it, and we might be seeing some Hellion harass, plenty of Hellion playing coming, at least for these early stages. Keep in mind that Hellions are quite effective against Zerglings and drones, so he might be a good option by PoltPrime. He could as well try to get out some Marines first, but I guess that's not his option. And meanwhile, from the hatchery here, and from with the spawning pool getting the Zergling speed, we have the first batch of Zerglings incoming into the base from PoltPrime, probably to take a look to see how far he already went, if he already has a command center landed on that natural expo, or if he has a wall off. And well, he just confirmed that the wall off is there. He's not going to be able to even enter and take a peek inside PoltPrime's base, and we have the first couple of Hellions coming out and trying to roast some of these Zerglings. So hell incoming for these Zerglings and probably for drones, especially if IMLosira doesn't gather some proper defenses, or because more Hellions are coming out, and 4 Hellions roaming around that mineral line will just roast everything so quickly. Inside his base everything tranquil and calm for now, and meanwhile Losira just got a nice spine crawler there with the queen, so it's basically its defense for now. Let's see his units. Yeah, 2 Zerglings and 1 queen. He doesn't have much of a defense, and he might be in trouble here. He needs to get some Zerglings out because these 4 Hellions cannot reach his mineral lines, and the Queen and the single spine crawler might not be enough. Notice here PoltPrime trying to go up that ramp, see how much of a defense does Losira has, but no, pulling back, so this is good for Losira. He's gonna buy him a little bit more time to get a proper defense. We already have some Zerglings now there, and he's already on the lair tech, so we might be seeing him evolving for the next layer of tech pretty soon. There it is, Spire incoming, and once more the Hellions are hanging here on the ramp, but actually not doing that much damage, forcing IMLosira to get more defenses. As you can see, there's another spine crawler, but I guess it's just the price to pay for the fact that he's just trying to evolve on his tech really fast, already going for the Spire this soon, so he doesn't have much of a defense. But apparently for now it seems to be working, because PoltPrime is not very committed to aggression. He's just trying to keep map control and keep IMLosira pinned inside his base. And there it is, some more Zerglings coming out there, but they're gonna get roasted as well. And like I was saying, PoltPrime just grabbed his natural expo. IMLosira has been staying on his 2-base play, trying to evolve his tech, and PoltPrime, instead of applying pressure, he's going for his 2-base play as well. He doesn't have much of an army, though to be honest I think he's way ahead on the army count on units that he can use to assault his opponent. Let's take a look. Yeah, 10 Zerglings, 2 Queens against 6 Marines. We have Marauders, Hellions, and we might be having something else pretty soon, because I do see there it is, the factory getting some siege tanks out. So I think that we're gonna have a bit of mech play this turn, and it's one of the most staple and standard builds for Terran players. Marines with siege tanks backing them up, it's something that you see very, very frequently. On the economy game, both players playing out of 2 bases. IMLosira has quite a lot more workers, but the economy is still fairly balanced, as you can see. And inside IMLosira's base, let's see what he's taking care of here. 3 spine crawlers, a big wall of defense, getting his Spire, probably getting some Mutalisks out to harass his opponent. It is a good option, and the Baneling's Nest on that corner. Keep in mind that IMLosira is attempting to buy a bit of time here, and those Mutalisks might help him out, because if he gets those Mutalisks onto PoltPrime's base, he might be pulling all of his forces back to defend, and with that buying a couple more minutes to actually gather a proper army. At the moment he does not have a proper army. He has this small wave of Zerglings here, as you can see. That's basically it. PoltPrime already finished off his wall, though it's a fairly weak wall. It's still a wall here, and will be able to contain that Zergling aggression for quite a while. Engineering bay on the back, we're gonna have a starport starting, and a lot of bio play. As you can see, reactors with a lot of racks, so I think we're gonna have a big commitment to bio play anyway from PoltPrime, just like he did on the previous 2 matches. And though we're gonna have a bit of a mix with the siege tanks this turn. Incoming, there they are, those Mutalisks trying to get at least a snipe on that Vespene gas, so he can delay the build of any gas heavy units from PoltPrime, at least to hold a bit back on his mech play, and now pulling back. So this might buy him at least a couple more minutes, so PoltPrime will have to hold. He's now aware that Mutalisks are flying around. It's still a small wing, but even so he needs to be aware of that and needs to be careful, or else he just might find out that his mineral line got completely routed and destroyed. But apparently PoltPrime is just preparing himself to make a timed push. Notice that he's just finishing off the siege tank and the shields while the Zerglings from IMLosira arrive on this wall, but there's nothing here for them, and they're gonna have to pull back. And incoming, the forces from PoltPrime arriving into this large ramp that gives access to the natural expo from IMLosira. IMLosira almost finishing off that centrifugal hooks, the Baneling speed, and incoming the forces from PoltPrime. They're trying to blast as much as possible of this entrance for the natural expo of IMLosira. Keep in mind that IMLosira has a lot of units staying there on the back in the middle of the map, and I think he's gonna make some Banelings to start showing up and surprise his opponent, popping from the back and blasting away against his opponent's forces that have been hanging. Basically it's the mech force, as you guys can see, and now finally getting all of that bio in the creep, so it will provide speed for his Zerglings and Banelings, trying to corner all of those forces. Nice defense with the Mutalisks, and now the Queen trying to hold on against that aggression. And incoming, as you guys could see on the picture-in-picture window, all the Banelings and Zerglings from the middle of the map smashing against the forces from PoltPrime. Well defended, nice split here by PoltPrime, trying to get as many of those Marines to survive, but no, such a nice defense by IMLosira, killed everything. Even with that nice split by PoltPrime wasn't enough, and the Banelings reached most of the army, defending against the aggression from PoltPrime. So well defended, but now I think he's a bit behind on the army count, as you guys might imagine. Yes, he is, a big gap there, and obviously on the unit count he's going to be missing a lot, because he had to throw everything he had to defend against that aggression. He now has 2 Mutalisks, 16 Zerglings, and that's basically it. And there's a big force incoming once more from a PoltPrime. More siege tanks, more marines. He's going to place himself on the exact same spot once more. Scan going down on the natural expo just to see what kind of defense he might have there, and once more we're going to have the siege tanks backing up the advance from the marines. Notice that on creep the Zerglings and Banelings will be fast enough to smash all of these marines down. Here they come, siege tanks instantly blasting at those Banelings, and IMLosira cannot lose more Banelings as things are currently. Once again flanking onto this south side of the natural expo and losing so many units. Very well played once again by IMLosira. It is a bad option by PoltPrime to come down south on that base. He keeps just walking on the creep, and with the speed from the Zerg units he keeps getting finished off, but this time PoltPrime just applying more and more pressure, sending more and more bio units up that ramp, and seems like that IMLosira doesn't have what it takes to defend. He doesn't have enough of an army, and now with those siege tanks there on the back, every time he reaches about this area he's going to start getting blasted away. So the marines are trying to hit that hatchery, destroying all the units and probably interrupting the economy from IMLosira, because soon enough he'll be forced to pull all of his mineral line out of that place. PoltPrime is still advancing slowly, waiting for his reinforcements. Incoming more Zerglings and Banelings trying to smash what's left of this Bioforce. But notice how the Mech Force is advancing now up the ramp, and IMLosira GG's out of the match. Was way too much pressure for him. He didn't have much else, as you can see. He was just using every little larva that would come out of those hatcheries and this lair to get units to defend. So he was basically on the verge of the cliff, almost falling down, and now we have PoltPrime just pushing him and giving him the final kick. So not much for him to do. PoltPrime meanwhile was back on his bases, working just fine with no issues whatsoever, and well, things just went very well for PoltPrime, crushing IMLosira on this situation here. And I need to congrats PoltPrime, obviously he did very well. IMLosira was defending very well as well, but I mean, it gets to a point where all your resources are just getting wasted into units that are being used as cannon fodder, and you'll never get out of that situation. IMLosira stated that and GG'd out of this match. Series done, PoltPrime 1-2-1. Hope you guys enjoyed this series. See you all later.